Hi, y'all. Welcome, Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us as we rock and roll. It's Monday, best day of the work week, as you know. We appreciate you being part of the team as we rock and roll. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline, a lot of national stuff breaking. I will get to the Stormy Daniels. This is ridiculous what the press is doing with this. Really is. It just, I didn't watch it, wasn't going to watch it. Doesn't matter to me. We don't have a media anymore. We don't have a national media anymore. We don't have anybody that cares what the truth is. Wonder why they didn't interview over and over again the girl that claimed she was raped by Bill Clinton. You know, only Fox did an interview. I wonder why they didn't interview that lady. Why didn't they interview James Carville from Louisiana? James, you've abused women. It's just no truth in what they don't care anymore. They have lost it, which means the country's in trouble because of what they're doing. They get their angles, and boom, they go with the truth be damned. And that's what's taking place. We'll get to all that. The budget mess from last week. I didn't say a word on it, but I am today. Constitutional Convention, which is the dumbest. I'm telling y'all, it is a major mistake. I'll be right on this. It's going to take a few years to prove my point as they try to shove this down our throat. And good people, powerful people, I told y'all, if you're going to stick with me on do not have a constitutional convention and God bless C.B. Ferguson in his name, it's going to take a while to prove that I'm right on this because the big hitters are lining up. All the big hitters. I mean, when I see people like Lane Grigsby and Dan Juneau and David Vitter and people like that, and I got respect for all of them and knowing what they're doing, it just makes me cringe. C.B. Ferguson was definitely against the Constitutional Convention. He was against it big time. And I understand why. And he explained it to me, and I've explained it to y'all. We'll get to that as the program unfolds. By the way, Jeff Landry, congratulations to Jeff Landry. He's like 6-0 in court cases against John Bel Edwards. I was off the air, but on Friday, Supreme Court shoots down Governor Edwards' order barring LGBT discrimination against workers. Supreme Court 5-2 majority, April 13, 2016. Anyway, the split Supreme Court on Friday shot down Edwards' order that bans companies contracting with the state from discriminating against LGBT. Look, you can't discriminate against anybody. And I told you, when we think of Bel Edwards, I think of two things: higher taxes and LGBT. I don't know why. Landry, who had illegally challenged Edwards' order, commended the Supreme Court decision in his email. Hopefully this went in the governor's waste of precious taxpayer resources in defense of his unconstitutional actions. The governor should live within the Constitution. I will continue to stand for separation of powers and the rule of law, Landry said. So Jeff Landry's like, and by the way, every time he wins, he beats the guy I had on here, Matthew Block, who was the chief counsel for Governor Bel Edwards. So like Landry's like 6-0. Like every time he challenges the governor in court, boom, the governor gets beat. Not the only thing the governor's going to get beat in one day. Next election, he's going to be beat. But anyway, that's another topic for another day. I'm just telling y'all, Landry continues to beat him in court like a yard dog. And Bel Edwards continues to run all this stuff. And I don't know what his fascination about the LGBT community is. I just don't know what it is, but there's something there. I hadn't figured it out yet, but there's something there. There's definitely something there. And what it is, I don't know. And why does he continue to fight for this? I have no idea. But he continues to fight for it. And I'm telling you, Jeff Landry hands it to him not every now and then, not every other case, every single case he's beaten Bel Edwards in. So I got to say, Jeff actually understood and understands the law. And he continues to fight for the taxpayers, and we appreciate it, Jeff. That's just a big victory every time I look up. I want to jump gears. They passed a ridiculous budget last week, and I've heard all the comments. I've watched everything. And what we're down to, folks, is we got to understand this. I got this nut, this U.S. Fiber nut. I'm not going to say the guy's name. He's crazy. He believes man-made global warming is real, loves Obama, and he sends me this stuff about how bad Republicans are. And by the way, a lot of them are bad. I'm not even going to argue with that. Not even going to argue with that. But here's the problem. When people say Republicans, there's no difference between Republicans and Democrats. To this point, I didn't know about that. But I believe that now. Republicans equal Democrats in Washington and in Baton Rouge, too, with this exception. A conservative is not a Republican. The left, and its nut does this, too. They screw it up by saying the Republicans are they're this way and the Democrats are this way, and they're all the same. The difference is when you find a real conservative, you know, and real conservative will fight. And that's the ones they consider crazy and nuts and, boy, he's just a right-winger. That's because that's the press and that's the media. But I'm going to tell you, and I found out something else. This is not 100% true what I'm going to say, but it's close. If somebody is not a social conservative willing to stand up against the 60 million babies that have been aborted or the marriage or the family, they will never stand up for the budget. Go look at the record. You know, Jay Dodge's a perfect example. Never a social conservative, never a fiscal conservative. Now, I'm not talking about this. I know the people in the press in Baton Rouge and people think that, oh, Jay, he knows the budget like the back of his underwear. Yeah, he knows how to play with it and screw with it. Yeah, he does. He knows how to raise taxes. But he's no fiscal conservative because he's no social conservative, and the social conservatives have to fight for what they believe in. And these Mickey Mouse Republicans I've been telling you about, look, Nancy Pelosi, Julie Stokes, and Barry Ivan, I ain't raising taxes, Shadwan. You know, these people are not anywhere near conservative. They're not even in the ball game with conservatism. And it's nothing to do with right wing. Nothing. I'm sure your buddy Jay will come in here today and say, there you go, right wing. No, Jay, it's nothing to do with that. If you're not a social conservative, you're not a fiscal conservative for the most part. I didn't say 100%. But, boy, it seems to line up that way because social conservatives get beat up. A fiscal conservative doesn't like to get beat up because they really have no place to take a stand. They're not going to stand up. They're not courageous. They're closer to a coward than they are courageous. They're more worried about what people are going to say about them in the newspaper than by doing the right thing. I can promise you Donald Trump, Brandon, whatever you say, he's not worried about what they say in the newspaper about him. That's for one thing about it. He's got more guts. He may not be super conservative, but he's got guts. And the left has guts. Well, the left has no guts either. The left knows they'll never be picked on by the press. The left knows they got a friend in the newspapers and the TV coverage all over the country. So they'll never be picked on. They don't ever have to worry about, well, only Fox and Talk Radio, we ain't worried about them. That's why they say and do the things they do. I mean, this budget from hell, let me tell you what it didn't do. It funded sanctuary cities. It funded Planned Parenthood. Folks, it was just a year or two ago, Brandon. You remember we were talking about selling body parts. That's against the law. They drinking their wine and laughing about selling dead baby parts. We couldn't even unfund that. That's no guts, no courage, no courageous people at all in the House and the Senate anymore. Let me back up. Not many. You can't. You fund sanctuary cities where they break into law? You fund selling baby parts? 60 million babies dead and nobody wants to stand up for the babies anymore. I'm talking about elected officials, folks. You know, massive increase in national debt. Barack Insane Obama ran up $10 trillion. If you blame Bush, I'm blaming him. $10 trillion to $20 trillion. It's already $1 trillion more under Trump. Because they're not going to fix anything, folks. They're not worried about it because we don't have a disaster yet, which is probably is around the corner. Financial disaster with the debt they're running up. They don't want to tell people we can't spend money on that no more. They don't want to tell people, no, we're not going to finance everything you want anymore. You have to go do it yourself. You have to go do it yourself. You got to go work for a living. You make money for your health care. Obamacare is destroying everybody, but don't worry about it. Not the poor people. You know, you go make money to eat, to feed your family. You don't get an EBT card. Make money yourself. No, that ain't what we do here. We give you free health care. We give you a free home. We give you a free cell phone. We give you free food. It's just pitiful. And then if you step in line and get out of line one bit of accusing somebody and not pulling their own, guess what? We got another problem. If it's anything to do with race, it's racism. Automatic racism built in. Man, what did we do? We didn't repeal Obamacare yet. We didn't fund the border walls, and we didn't have spending cuts. That was missing out of the budget the other day. Missing big time. As them Republicans voting along with the Democrats. I don't understand it, folks. Where's the courageous people in the United States of America to stop some of this stuff? That's why Republicans and Democrats are the same in Washington. Unless they're real conservative and fight. And we don't have many of them anymore. So we just accept it and move on. That's why they got 60 million babies dead. We've accepted it and moved on. But take a break. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. We'll be right back. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. I wonder why Nancy Pelosi and Chucky Schumer are so happy about the new budget they passed. Let's see. Sanctuary Cindy's were funded. Planned Parenthood funded. Working on gun control. Increase in national debt. That was funded, by the way. Obamacare repeal still missing. Funding for the border wall still missing. Spending cuts still missing. All undermining the president. President could have vetoed it, no doubt about it. Wish he would have. Thought it was a mistake he didn't. I'm not going to run over there and vote for Hillary Clinton or somebody like that. But you just got to remember that what happened to, I mean, these people don't think nothing's wrong with funding things and really not funding them at all. No budget. Just spend what you want to spend. I mean, everybody that lives like they live is bankrupt. Every business that lives like that is bankrupt. Every small entity, bankrupt. What do you make you think that they won't go bankrupt? And in a few short months, it'll come around again, and they'll just fund it away. You used to really have budgets before Barack Obama came on. This is the new way of doing it, and doing anything like Barack Obama is crazy. It's idiotic. God didn't love this country, hated this country. Dignitary, spoke well, act like he was really something. Hated this country. I mean, he caused a lot of problems here that we may not ever get over. Obamacare is one of them. By the way, I watched John Kasich yesterday morning before I went to church. I don't know. Brandon, this is sad. I don't even remember what show I was on. I just happened to click through and I saw him. I said, let me listen to this idiot. And he sounded like an idiot. And they were just slamming Trump without saying Trump's name. We need to stay in the Paris Accord and all this stuff. And I just listened to him and I thought, wow, he's a person I would never want to be like. He's a person I would never, ever, ever want my kids to look at and say, boy, what a great man. He's one of those Republicans and Republican Democrat, call them what they are. They just politicians to me. We ought to not call them Republican or Democrats. We ought to call them politicians because that's what they are. That's what they continue to be. We win on your leg and tell you it's raining. And people buy into it. Oh, if you say it's raining, it's raining. Although I don't see a cloud in the sky. My leg's getting wet. And you just believe them. And most of them are not sincere. And most of them lie. And most of them could care less if you know the truth or not. You notice I didn't say all. Most of them. Most of them is 51%. I think it's closer to 80. They just don't care what you think. They'd rather tell a lie because it makes them feel good. You know? But you got people running as Republicans that are winning elections because they have to win as a Republican, run as a Republican to win. I mean, look at Big Lake Fannin would have got his butt beat. He jumped in the Republican Party right before he ran for office. He took the water boy Bob Kostelka's place. People in Monroe, I love Monroe, they put him in office. By the way, somebody made a good point. We're paying for border walls in foreign countries. Border walls. I don't know how to say that name, Brandon, on two. Do you spell that right, or did I? Or just I can't read. Okay. Well, I said that. I said, okay, Brad, you trying to fool me right now.
Should have just left it the way it was. Should have left it the way it was.
And I would have said it just like that, and you just said, boo, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's off the record, folks. Border walls are being funded in other countries. We're funding stuff in other countries. We're funding Planned Parenthood. Folks, it takes guts to be a conservative. It takes guts to be a Christian. It takes no guts if you're not a conservative Christian. Absolutely none. Just go with whatever the world tells you to go. I mean, do they really believe if they keep running up debt and keep printing up money, something from heaven's going to fall out and fix everything? It doesn't work that way. And it's never going to work that way. All right, we're going to have to take a break. I just can't believe we're watching what we watch. We got some calls. We'll get you in after the commercial break. Not enough time to be fair to anybody. We do have the Stormy Tour, which I don't want to talk about her, just the way it's covered. It's unbelievable. Gambling, Brandon, there was a whole article on what's the big question with gambling. What is the big question? It is. The big question is, does the proposed measure expand gambling in Louisiana? Of course it does. I can't believe it's Tyler Bridges. I can't believe he's even asking the question. And Ronnie Johns and everybody, even Gene Mills says, well, the expansion of Harris is not expanding gambling. I agree with that. Oh, my God. Wake up, Gene. We got to take a break. Be right back.